Welcome, my little couch potatoes, to the comfiest courtroom on the internet. I'm your host, Llama, and it's time for dramatic testimony, overruled objections, and absolutely unqualified opinions. So grab your snuggiest blanket, some delicious snacks, and get ready to watch court with your internet besties. This is Couch Court with Llama, after dark. Hello, my little couch potatoes. We are now into week 3 of the USA versus Sean Diddy Combs trial, and there are no cameras or video allowed, but every news network around the world is there. Tonight, we're going to go through the updates provided by the Washington Post and their amazing team of journalists who are inside of the courtroom. Now, if you haven't yet, please like this video. Be sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss when we go live or drop an episode. All right, so tonight, guys, we're going to cover day 12 and day 13 of the Sean Diddy Combs federal sex trafficking trial in New York. And oh boy, has it been a week. Okay, so for Thursday, day 12. So Sean Diddy Combs is back in his sweater and white colored shirt combo. I wonder if it was a different shirt this time than the one he's worn the last 2 days. He was deep in conversation with lead counsel Mark Agnifilio before the judge took the bench. This morning should see the conclusion of the cross-examination of celebrity stylist Deontay Nash, who was clearly less than enthused to be in the federal court Wednesday afternoon. He testified repeatedly that he did not want to be there and was only obeying a government subpoena. I mean, I don't think anybody's really happy about having to go testify in court, so I don't blame them, especially against someone like Combs and all the things he's allegedly done. I'd be a little nervous about it. Sean Combs' lawyers couldn't get the judge to strike forensic psychologist Dawn Hughes' testimony Thursday morning. Now, Hughes testified last week as an expert witness. She didn't speak about anyone specific involved in the trial, but explained the general behavior and coping strategies of domestic violence victims. Prosecutors clearly hoped the jury would connect her testimony with their star witness, Cassie Ventura, who testified that she endured years of abuse while in a relationship with Combs. Combs' defense called parts of Hughes' testimony junk science in their motion to strike, specifically referring to the psychologist's comments about how victims may remember certain parts of traumatic events more vividly than others. Now, the judge rejected that argument as an indictment of the entire field of psychology. In denying the defense's motion, however, the judge did tell prosecutors to be careful about how they refer to Hughes's testimony during their closing arguments. And if you don't remember, Dawn Hughes also testified in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. So interesting, huh? Now, the government is expected to call another alleged victim of Sean Combs to the stand today, a woman who worked as an assistant to Combs and who will use the pseudonym Maya in court. Alongside Cassie Ventura, Maya is one of the handful of the government's witnesses whose accusations go to the heart of the government's case against Combs. While the jury is out of the room, the court is discussing her upcoming testimony, particularly evidence that the defense wants to introduce during its cross-examination. Now, celebrity stylist Deontay Nash is back on the stand, this time wearing a puffy jacket and loose jeans. So there's no requirements on what we're wearing to federal court. Come on. Nash complained about the frigid temperature in the courtroom during his testimony Wednesday afternoon, and he wasn't the first to do so. I mean, I will complain if a room is too cold. I bring a sweater everywhere, but you have to have a fancy dress jacket. You're a stylist, for Pete's sake. Anyway. Deontay Nash has been vocal about how little he has wanted to testify at this trial, but the celebrity stylist appeared keen to volunteer that he was the one who hooked up Cassie Ventura and actor Michael B. Jordan. A defense attorney was cross-examining Nash about events in 2015 when Ventura was in South Africa shooting a film. The attorney was asking the stylist about how Ventura got approval from Combs to shoot the film, when Nash spontaneously volunteered, "Yes, I did hook her up with Michael B. Jordan." He fine, she fine. I mean, why not? Nash continued. I mean, he just wanted to ship them. I get it. We're all there. Cassie Ventura may not have been as jealous of Combs' other girlfriends as the defense implied, according to Deontay Nash. Sean Combs' defense has argued that his relationship with Ventura was mutually toxic and abusive, and suggested she was especially jealous of a woman named Gina that Combs saw. Nash painted a very different picture, telling a defense attorney, honestly, she wasn't that pressed about Gina. He clarified that Ventura felt that Combs' relationship with other women were hurting her career. Nash said under cross examination that he also helped Ventura find outfits when she took the stand in the trial's first week because she couldn't fit anything and she needed clothes because she was like 8 months pregnant. It's kind of interesting that he was allowed to do that, but okay. Now, Ventura testified in her third trimester of pregnancy, and she gave birth on Wednesday, by the way, showing up the first 2 days in a mock turtleneck dresses. She wore a blouse with a bow and a long blazer the following day and concluded her testimony wearing a similar cut jacket and pinstripes. Nash testified that he also spoke to Ventura, whom he considers a close friend, the week she testified, to check up on her and ask how she was doing. He said they did not talk about the case. Okay. Under direct questioning from the government Wednesday, Deontay Nash said Cassie Ventura once told him that Sean Combs was making her go to a hotel for a freak off against her wishes. Now, on cross examination just now, defense attorney Xavier Donaldson asked why Nash hadn't shared this detail until a May 17th meeting with the prosecutors, the day after Ventura's testimony. As is common with witnesses, Nash did meet with the prosecutors several times in the lead up to the trial. That is literally happens all of the time. They prep witnesses or at least go over a bit of what they should expect. Now, Nash has previously said that he gave prosecutors very little in their meetings, only information they explicitly asked for. When Donaldson asked why new details surfaced in his Wednesday testimony, Nash coolly replied, "It must have been something they asked." The government has called Maya to the stand. Oh, bye, Deontay. Bye. The government has called Maya to the stand. Before Maya took the stand, Judge Subramanian, what? Did I do that right? I think so. Explained to the jury that Maya was a pseudonym to protect the witness's privacy, and the fact she was using a pseudonym did not mean her testimony had greater or lesser value. Now, the jury and the parties will know Maya's real name, but it will not be used in open court. I don't know how often that happens or why that's happened in this case. I think we'll have to look this up after the show because that is interesting. Okay, so Maya is a former assistant to Sean Combs. Now, she is the first of two anonymous alleged victims to testify against him during the trial. The woman who is being called Maya kept her head down as she detailed the alleged assaults by Combs. Quote, "He's thrown things at me. He's thrown me against the wall. He's thrown me into a pool," Maya said, staring at her lap. "He also sexually assaulted me." Maya said she once went 5 days without sleep working for him. "My hearing went. It felt like I was underwater. My equilibrium was off," Maya said. Her vision blurred and she burst into tears, she added, describing herself as hysterical and unable to stop crying before Combs told her she could sleep. Maya said she wasn't allowed to leave Combs' side without his permission and that she was forbidden from locking her bedroom door while staying with him. Oh my God. Maya said she once left Combs' Los Angeles home after 2 a.m. while her employer was sleeping. She later received a call from Combs' security staff who had been ordered to find her. It doesn't he have how many personal assistants does this guy have? Oh my God. She said she hardly saw anyone outside of Combs' world as a result. As for the ban on locks, she said Combs told her, "This is my house. No one locks my doors." Ugh. Several of Sean Combs' employees have described the complicated relationship they had with their boss, I guess we can call it that, who had been described as a person who could build them up and also shock and disturb them. Maya recounted a similar workplace dynamic, noting that the highs were really high, but the lows were really, really low. When things got bad on the job, Combs once delivered an awesome pep talk, I'm sure he did, that encouraged her to prove herself, she said. Mm. Maya said her employer repeatedly assaulted his former on and off again girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Maya said she saw Combs attack Ventura, throw her on the ground, crack her head open, and chase her. Ventura never fought back, added Maya, who later became a director of development for Revolt Films, a media company owned by Combs. Asked the number of times she saw Combs be violent towards Ventura, whom she considered to be like a sister, Maya replied, "All the time. I don't have a number." Maya did detail one incident where Sean Combs allegedly attacked Cassie Ventura in her apartment, echoing similar testimony from stylist Deontay Nash. Ventura was packing for an overseas trip when Maya said Combs barged in and attacked Ventura while Maya and Nash were present. Combs eventually slammed Ventura's head into a bed frame, and Maya thought he was going to kill her, she testified. When Ventura's head began gushing blood, Combs went into protector mode. Oh, isn't it great of him? She lowered her head, recalling the incident, saying it was the first time she realized the danger all of them were in. Don't you love how he's being a protector against himself? Mm, interesting. I think he just didn't want cops caught on him and getting in trouble for beating on a woman. That's just my opinion. There was a testy exchange in court just before the lunch break while the jury was out of the room. Sean Combs' lead counsel, Mark Agnifilio, raised a concern about the prosecution's pattern of telling the judge about its witnesses' flights home. Okay. He accused the government of trying to get the court on its side and effectively set deadlines for when a witness's testimony should end, which can pressure the defense to speed up its cross-examination. I believe that this was probably about Deontay Nash, because they wanted to question him longer, and but the judge was like, "Oh, he's got a flight to catch." My guess is that's what that's about. Now, the judge sternly countered that it was common courtesy. Well, it is. It is. "We have not cut short the testimony of any witness," the judge said, noting that Deontay Nash was kept an additional day to accommodate the defense's lengthy cross-examination of the celebrity stylist. Nash's cross-examination was around twice as long as his direct questioning. All right, that's tons of time. The government said, "To be absolutely clear, you are not constrained in terms of questioning," the judge added. Now the court is back after the lunch recess, with the judge alerting the jury that they may be held longer than usual. They'd be out by 4 p.m., he assured them. The judge reiterated that these changes are because he wants the trial to be over before the July 4th holiday, as do I. Thank you for being very considerate of the jury's time, unlike another judge in the trial that we're watching right now is not. But, you know, if you know, you know. Maya described the mood at Sean Combs' Los Angeles home as dark and ominous on December 22nd, 2011, when Combs found out Cassie Ventura was dating the rapper and actor Kid Cudi. Fun fact, Amos and I were talking about this before the show, and I said, I don't know if they're going to bring him up anymore. Well, here we are. Wonder how many times they've said his name in court. Combs allegedly broke into Cuddy's home that day and later, also allegedly brutally attacking Ventura. Maya was at Combs' house that morning, preparing to leave for a trip to New York City. She only briefly saw Ventura at a distance in a black SUV. The energy felt really bad, but in a different way than normal. What does that even mean? So it's normally bad, but this was even weirder and different than normally bad. Okay. She had never seen Ventura do something to cause Combs to be upset in the way he was that day, she said. Sean Combs referred to freak-offs with Cassie and male escorts as hotel nights, said Maya, who had to clean the nightmare rooms afterwards. Oh, girl. Ugh, you poor thing. Maya described candle wax everywhere and wet towels all over the rooms. We previously heard testimony from a hotel manager whose staff flagged Combs as a chronic wax spiller, and he is not allowed to have the good rooms at all, which is hilarious. She testified she saw broken glass, water all over the floor, and sometimes blood, which Combs explained was period blood. I feel like it can also be blood from other things. I mean, when you're using a power banger sex machine, what do you think's going to happen? I don't know. Hotel nights were followed by long stretches of rest the couple would refer to as man down. Maya continued, when Combs and Ventura would hole up in the hotel room and sleep for a day or two or three, because they were doing a lot of drugs. Maya detailed two instances when she saw Cassie during or just before a hotel night or freak-off with Combs. In one case, the former assistant to Combs testified, Ventura opened the door when Maya was delivering an item to Combs' room. Ventura was in a blue wig, Maya said. She appeared to be struggling and looked different than I had seen her, Maya said, prompting her to ask if she was okay. Another time, Maya said, Ventura was really nervous as she told Maya, Puff wants to have a hotel night. Thank God she called him Puff and not Paw Paw. Or, wait, no, that's not. Was it Paw Paw? Pop Pop. It was Pop Pop. Ugh. Ugh. Anyway, where were we? Ventura was so upset that she fell ill with stomach issues, Maya added. Sean Combs has thrown a bowl of spaghetti at Maya, as well as turkey meat, a phone, and a computer, to name a few items. The defendant's former assistant testified. What is it with this guy and turkey? We had the turkey bacon incident. Now turkey meats, he just loves throwing that around. He gets very upset about turkey, apparently. During the spaghetti bowl incident, Maya said Combs was upset because she had attempted to leave his presence to change her tampon. After he threw the bowl, Maya said he told her to get the fuck out of his house. Maya said she felt terrified, humiliated, and confused by Combs' behavior, and no one intervened to stop him. Like, what did I do that was so wrong? She recalled thinking. This fucking guy. One day in 2013, Maya testified, Combs took her phone and ran into the men's room at his cable TV office, Revolt Network. Maya said she chased after him and was partially inside the bathroom when Combs slammed the door on her arm. She thought at first it was an accident, she said, but he slammed it on her again multiple times. Combs ended up fleeing the building, still with her phone. What? At the time, she took the incident as a kind of bullying joke. She said Combs told her he wanted to have something on her because she had things on him. Maybe don't be such a freaking scumbag, Combs. Oh my gosh, this is like the worst boss ever. I made a lot of excuses for him in my head, she said. Maya is now testifying about several instances of alleged sexual abuse. Prosecutors have alleged Maya was groped by Combs and forced to perform oral sex on him, and that he once got into her bed and sexually assaulted her. Maya is testifying under a pseudonym to protect her privacy, and I'm now understanding the reasons why. That makes sense. Maya testified that Combs first sexually abused her in a penthouse suite at the Plaza Hotel around the time of his 40th birthday party, after he asked her to do vodka shots with him in the kitchen. I was like standing against the wall, and I just remembered he was talking, and all of a sudden his face got closer. I didn't really know what was happening, she said. She said she didn't vocally object, but didn't want him to do what came next. Oh, uh-oh. He leaned in to kiss me and put his head up the side of my dress, Maya testified. As she spoke, she kept her head down and her loose hair covered her face. Oh, heartbreaking. Maya wept on the stand as she testified that Sean Combs raped her at his Los Angeles home in 2009 or 2010. Oh, that's tough. That's bad. Oh, I hate this guy so much. All right. Maya said she was sleeping in a spare room and had left the door unlocked because it was a house rule. Maya said she woke up to Combs on top of her, starting to force himself inside of her. Oh, God. I just froze. I didn't react, she testified, her voice breaking. It was very quick, but it felt like forever. Maya said the incidents of alleged groping, forced oral sex, and rape she detailed on the stand were part of a longer pattern of his sexual assaults. The assaults, some of which she couldn't remember clearly, were always random, sporadic, and oddly spaced out, she said, making them hard to predict. Her working relationship with Combs had no boundaries, Maya explained. But the assaults didn't happen when she might expect, such as when she was in his room at all hours of the night or talking to him when he was on the toilet. Jesus, buddy, come on. Now he makes them watch while he's on the toilet? Weird. Freaking weird. Maya never told Combs no, she said, because she feared the repercussions of denying him. I think that's fair after what we've all heard. At times, she said, Combs threatened to use the assaults against her by telling Cassie Ventura, her close friend and his girlfriend. I couldn't tell him no about a sandwich, Maya said. I couldn't tell him no about anything. I just thought I would be punished. Yeah, that's fair. Explaining to the jury why she never reported what was happening to her, Maya testified that Combs assaulted her way before the hashtag #MeToo movement. It's way before social media. It's way before mental health awareness or sexual assault awareness. The former assistant said it seemed unfathomable to file complaints against her boss, a rich and famous hip hop mogul who she feared would ruin her life if she spoke up. And a lot of other people have said the same things, and they've done different things. I'd be scared of this guy too. Maya added there was no way she would have reported Sean Combs' alleged abuse to his HR department, which she only ever saw used to punish employees who he was unhappy with. Yeah, I can see that happening. Maya also testified that she was concerned coming forward might violate her confidentiality obligations as his employee. Her testimony could help support the prosecution's theory that there was a concerted effort by Combs and his associates to intimidate his victims and enable crimes including sexual assault, kidnapping, and arson. Now, I'm not a lawyer or a legal expert, but I have heard people say that if you sign a confidentiality agreement or an NDA, but something illegal happens, you don't have to worry about that. It voids it. Okay. It can't protect you from the law. That's what I've been told. Again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal advice, but I have heard that said numerous times. When illegal shit's being done, that kind of voids it. All right, so the jury is being excused and Maya's testimony is done for the day. She will return tomorrow to continue testifying. Now, Maya's testimony about alleged sexual assault she experienced while working for Sean Combs was halting and occasionally difficult to hear. The witness struggled to repeat the things she said Combs did to her, which is understandable. She hung her head and appeared to shrink while recalling an incident of forced oral sex, whispering the word penis. She broke down in tears at several points during the afternoon. Oh, poor thing. Combs was quiet still when Maya was on the stand, leaning back in his chair with his hands clasped on his lap. His sons, Christian, Justin, and Quincy Brown, were also present, as was Combs' mom, Janice Combs. Before leaving for the day, Sean Combs' defense petitioned the court again for more access to him after hours. Combs is being held in a Brooklyn jail, and his lawyers would like to hold meetings with him at the courthouse until 10 p.m. I think they said the other day he's usually only held until 7. Mark Agnifilio, the lead counsel for Combs, also said that the trial may still be bumping up against the July 4th holiday, even if the prosecution is able to wrap up its segment earlier than expected in mid-June. If the prosecution calls fewer witnesses, Agnifilio said, the defense might need to adjust its own lineup and might take longer than planned. So, a long trial either way. Could be, couldn't be. We'll see. Sometimes they like to make it sound like it's going to be more than it is. All right, so on to day 13. This is today, Friday. Before the jury is allowed into the court, the judge and the attorneys typically discuss logistics. Today, Mark Agnifilio, the lead defense attorney, said he has had issues contacting his client, Sean Combs, who has apparently run out of phone minutes at the jail where he is being held. How do you run out of phone? You have millions of dollars. How'd you run out of phone minutes? Okay. The judge indicated that he will work to resolve any communication issues, including transporting Combs to court earlier in the morning to allow for more FaceTime with his legal team. How you run out of minutes when you're in court all day, buddy? Usually they shut the phones off at like 10 or 11. And you're in court from they probably wake him up at like 6 in the morning. Who are you talking to all day? That's crazy. Anyway, Maya's testimony has resumed, with prosecutors asking her about her experience as Sean Combs' assistant years ago. Now, Maya walked briskly into the courtroom and avoided eye contact as she passed her former boss, Sean Combs. She took the stand and arranged her belongings, her eyes cast downwards. You talked to us about the highs were really high and the lows were very low, said U.S. Attorney Madison Smizer, to open up today's line of questioning. Maya, which we know is an alias, has not raised her head yet to meet the gaze of Combs. Combs called his then assistant Maya incessantly when she accompanied Cassie on a film shoot in South Africa in 2015. Maya said she woke up to 48 missed calls and messages. Well, maybe that now we know why he's running out of jail phone minutes. It's obsessive calling people. Anyway, she woke up to 40 missed calls and messages despite the large time zone difference with Combs. Maya testified she was afraid to speak with her boss because in some of the messages he was threatening my job and he threatened to kill me. This line of questioning leads to a central theme for prosecutors that Combs used intimidation and threats to coerce women into sex acts. Now, Cassie was ignoring Combs' messages on her 2015 trip to South Africa, Maya testified, because she had recently learned that he was seeing another woman. The brunt of Combs' fury over that fact fell on Maya, according to her testimony. In dozens of messages, she testified, Combs ordered her to return to the United States immediately and threatened to tell Ventura about their sexual encounters. Maya previously testified that Combs raped and repeatedly sexually assaulted her. Now, she said, Combs was threatening to frame the sex as consensual and out her to Ventura, a prospect that terrified her. If you don't call me now, fuck it off. And I'm going to tell everything and don't ever speak to me again. You have 2 minutes. Fuck her, Combs wrote to Maya on October 31st, 2015, in a WhatsApp message that Maya read aloud and which was shown to the jury. Maya said Combs also threatened to kill a TV show deal that he and Maya had reached with ABC about an assistant working for a prominent figure like him. The show never aired. I wonder why. While Sean Combs was barraging his assistant Maya with threatening messages during the film shoot in South Africa, a coworker asked her how the trip was going. It's okay. I'm still pretty mentally sore and have been having extremely horrible night terrors and anxiety so bad I can't breathe, she replied, according to a message shown to the jury. But other than that, it's great. You? Prosecutors are clearly trying to show the mental torment Combs' associates experienced while working under him. So, a dark picture of the culture at Sean Combs' companies is emerging as Maya reads aloud text messages demanding that she calls Combs immediately, or HR messages suspending her for minor infractions. I'd totally help, but he's firing me at the moment, Maya texted one of Combs' managers after she purchased the wrong workout gear for her boss. LOL, the manager responded. Maya said she was suspended without pay for the incident. This guy loses his mind about the most ridiculous stuff, and no wonder everyone is so afraid of him. He just went batshit crazy on me because he didn't see all of his workout options folded, organized. What? Maya wrote in a message to one of Sean Combs' bodyguards in 2011. He just went batshit crazy on me because he didn't see all of his workout options folded and organized, Maya wrote in a message to one of Sean Combs' bodyguards in 2011. The former assistant recounted as she testified about being punished for trivial mistakes. I mean, this guy loses his shit on little things. Imagine the real serious stuff. I think the theory of him is making more and more sense with every witness. He began cursing me out and getting angrier and angrier and going on a rant about the lack of options and how he hated certain things, Maya testified. She said Combs told her she was fired over the clothing mishap, but ultimately suspended her without pay. What a man-child. This is a grown adult losing his mind about some clothes. How does he not have all the workout clothes he needs? I don't understand. Rich people problems, am I right? Maya has previously said Combs had extreme mood swings and repeatedly sexually assaulted her, often while she froze in fear of her boss. Maya said Sean Combs became irate with her after she took too long to count his money on a chartered yacht off St. Bartholomew on New Year's Eve in 2010. Oh no. She testified that she tried to flee. She got crew members to take her to shore, but Combs' staff had her passport, so she was forced to return to the yacht. Oh, that's not going to be good for him. You better learn to walk on water like Jesus, Combs told her, she said. Okay. Maya said Combs then told her they would be going to Las Vegas, just the two of them, and she would be fired if she did not comply. I was just overwhelmed with fear that I would be in huge trouble. I would definitely be fired, and I didn't have a way out of it, she testified. He would have destroyed my reputation. Yeah, I was scared of him. When Maya finally quit her job as Combs' assistant in 2017, she was told by executives at the company to retain an attorney to negotiate back wages, bonuses, and severance. But she testified this enraged Combs. Puff said that he couldn't believe I essentially stabbed him in the back because I had a lawyer. Maya told the jury using one of Combs' nicknames. She said her attorney advised her to file for a settlement given the extent of the abuse she experienced under Combs. Sean Combs' assistant said she kept a bit more than half of a $400,000 settlement he paid her after she quit, with her lawyers taking the rest. Asked if she would give it back to erase the abuse she endured, she said, absolutely, in a second. After Cassie Ventura filed her bombshell sexual assault lawsuit against Combs in 2023, Maya testified his bodyguard texted her and asked her to issue a statement supporting Combs. What? What? Get out of here. What? Okay. I threw my phone as far as it would go and it went behind the couch and I ran outside. It was just so triggering. Maya told the jury. Oh my. Maya said she dodged calls and texts from Combs and the bodyguard for months, making up excuses like scuba diving for having not yet announced her support for a man she says abused her too. I pretended like, yeah, of course I will, no problem, Maya testified, because I was terrified of him. Yet the audacity of this guy. Okay. A text message Sean Combs sent to his former assistant Maya last year while his reputation was crumbling in the face of public sexual assault accusations was markedly different in tone from the abusive way he treated her when she worked for him, Maya testified. Oh, you don't say. Combs texted Maya in February last year that he did not want to be blowing up your phone. Okay. She previously testified that he once left her 48 irate messages and missed calls in one night, so I'm sure he didn't mean to blow up her phone. You were my right hand for years, so I just need to speak to you to remember who was even around me. And it would be good to hear your voice, he wrote. But if you don't want to, all good. Just let me know. Love. He signed off with emojis, a heart, and praying hands. Ew, gross. How dare you, sir? How dare you? This message came as one of Combs' former security guards, D-Rock, was pressuring Maya to publicly support Combs as he faced sexual assault lawsuits and a federal criminal investigation. I wanted nothing to do with him, Maya said. Now, Maya said she struggled to find new work due to long-term mental health effects from her employment. That makes a ton of sense. Basic interactions like responding to emails or simple questions became increasingly difficult to handle, she testified in a sometimes shaky voice and taking deep breaths as she spoke. I would be triggered by really normal situations. If someone said my name from across the room, all those feelings of getting in trouble would come flooding back, and I triple guessed myself in everything I did. Now, the jury took a short break before Maya will be cross-examined. Now, the defense lawyer, Brian Steele, will be the one cross-examining Maya. Okay, so let's talk a little about Brian Steele, the lead attorney for Sean Combs. He has grown in prominence as a tactile and sharp defense lawyer, recently defending the rapper Jeffrey Lamar Williams, or Young Thug, and his music empire from racketeering charges in Atlanta. Well, one of the longest and craziest trials. I didn't watch the whole thing. It went on for months. I don't even know how many months, like maybe even a year. I don't know. So many crazy things happened. Lawyers got arrested. It's crazy. There was drugs in the courtroom. It was a wild time. Anyway, so Steele reached a level of superstar clout among hip hop artists after Young Thug avoided serious prison time. The hip hop artist Drake recently released a track titled Brian Steele, where he shouts out the attorney before going on to rap about leaving his side piece to go party with the guys. Cool song, bro. The defense is confronting Maya with social media posts from her time working for Sean Combs that depict her enjoying events and expressing adoration for her then boss because, everything you see on social media is true. These exhibits are being used to try to cast doubt on Maya's accounts of rampant abuse, sexual violence, and misery during her employment. In October 2013, Maya posted a photo of Combs at Starbucks with a caption reading, "Just the number one guy on the Forbes list, getting me a vanilla latte. No big deal." Okay. In another post, she credited Combs with always letting me give birth to my dreams. That came along with a video clip of her head superimposed on a woman giving birth with Combs' face over the delivery doctors. What? What? Okay, wow. All right. That's some choices were made. Okay. You posted a picture of Mr. Combs, the person who terrorizes you. Fair? Defense lawyer Brian Steele asked Maya. At another point, he said, on your personal account, you posted your rapist delivering a baby, right? Instagram is a place to show how great your life was, even if it's not true, Maya explained. I didn't want my family and friends to know the misery I was in. Of course, you post the great times. I mean, who doesn't know that about social media? All right. You only post the good stuff on there. Everybody knows that. That's why everyone's like, oh, everyone's lives are perfect. No, they're not. No, they're not. And who's to say he didn't be like, yeah, you need to post this, bitch? Probably would have did that too. Maya posted, shout out to my mentor Diddy on social media the same day she claims Sean Combs sexually assaulted her, according to the defense team's cross-examination of her. Defense attorney Steele also showed similar fawning posts Maya made about her boss between 2009 and 2016. On the fifth anniversary of the initial sexual abuse, you were saying to Sean Combs on your social media, thank you for being the good kind of crazy and continuing to inspire me every single day, the lawyer said. I don't think people wrote bad stuff on Instagram in those days, responded Maya, notably tense and terse. Why would you promote the person who has stolen your happiness in life? Sean Combs' lawyer, Brian Steele, asked Maya as he confronted her with the social media post praising her then boss and evidently enjoying her job as his assistant. These included photos of Maya standing close to Combs and attending Burning Man and a private event for Muhammad Ali, and messages calling Combs a brother, friend, and mentor, or saying, I love you, all caps, with a heart in place of the V. Oh, okay. Maya said promoting was part of her job and she had to support the things that Puff Combs supported, which makes sense. Steele then flipped through Instagram posts for more than an hour before homing in on Maya's previous testimony, trying to contrast the evidence in front of jurors with her accounts about the horror of working for Combs. Steele's questions got increasingly more pointed as his cross-examination built up, pitting Maya's jet-setting life against her claims of a traumatic employment. How do you have a good moment with Sean Combs when you are terrified of him? Asks the lawyer. How do you forget about being woken up with a man on top of you, getting his way with you? Sir. Calm your tits, buddy. What? A lot of people say their abusers are nice a lot of times, and then they're really, really bad. It's kind of a thing. All right. Let's not get so victim blaming. I know you're doing your job, but not cool, bro. Because it's too horrible to think about, Maya replied. You think about it all the time, you said, steel pressed. How are you best friends with a person who is treating you this way? I guess, Maya said, trailing off and struggling to answer before she quipped. You'd have to speak with my therapist. The jury has left the courtroom for lunch, and Maya's cross-examination will continue after the break. I just want to say, real quick sidebar, it is questions like these, and I know lawyers are just doing their jobs in these kind of cases, but it is stuff like this that a lot of victims don't come forward because people already don't believe them. And then they're on the stand and the lawyers are behaving this way as well. And I get it. They are doing their job. All right. And a lot of people don't like to hear that. And I get that. It is just very frustrating to witness it and to hear about it. And it's okay to be worked up about it. This whole thing makes me very, very angry in general. I hate this for her. The lawyers are off to a slow start after the lunch break. With the jury still out of the courtroom, the defense called Maya's somber demeanor on the stand false and tried to enter into evidence a video that shows the witness dancing and jubilant at a party. Are you freaking kidding me? And the judge asked the defense why it did not follow proper procedure when entering evidence. Oh, here we go. The defense offered a range of reasons. Of course they did, including that it received the video just recently from internet sleuths. Oh, shout out, homies. Okay. The judge ultimately decided not to allow the video into evidence. Maya has now returned to the witness stand and the jury is being ushered in. Maya's demeanor has shifted since her earlier testimony when the former Sean Combs assistant shuddered and cried throughout her accounts of his abuse. On cross-examination, she has been rattled by some of the defense lawyer Brian Steele's questions about her social media posts praising Combs, but has mostly offered composed and matter-of-fact responses. She did not seem upset when confronted by images of her spending time with Combs, who she says raped and repeatedly abused her. I mean, he did say she wasn't even allowed to leave his side. So I imagine she's in a lot of photos and stuff. She wasn't even allowed to sleep for 5 days. Earlier, she had emotional reactions to some of prosecutors' questions about her job. Maya's testified that her time with Combs left her with complex, severe PTSD, so debilitating she can no longer keep a job. Defense attorney Steele picked up where he left off before the break, confronting Maya with loving images and social media posts she made about Sean Combs, the former boss she says abused her, to the point of developing post-traumatic stress disorder. You are the coolest alien rock star unicorn pizza slice, and we fucking love you, Steele said, quoting one of Maya's posts from 2016. You realize all these posts so far emphasize and promote Mr. Combs, he asked her. Yes, hold on, we'll get to that. But let's read that again. This is from Maya's post. You are the coolest alien rock star unicorn pizza slice, and we fucking love you. Okay, all right. That's interesting. Nobody's ever called me that. Oh, okay. So the defense is taking advantage of a gap in the prosecution's line of questioning. This is the first time jurors are hearing about the affectionate relationship between the two. Now, despite the intensity of his questions about her alleged sexual assault, Steele has been accommodating during much of his cross examination of Maya, apologizing if he cuts her off and making small gestures of compassion. Well, I guess that's something. Now, raising his voice for the first time, the defense attorney is driving home his line of questioning to Maya. After spending roughly 2 hours combing through Maya's affectionate messages to Combe, Steele accused her of fabricating her account. Isn't it true that Mr. Combs never had unwanted, non consensual, forcible contact with you? He asked. Although unforgivable for any person to put their hands on a woman, especially a man, isn't it true that it did not happen as many times as you just said to this jury? Prosecutors have objected aggressively, I'm sure, and Maya has responded with a steely demeanor. Everything I have said in this courtroom is true, she said. Ask any abuse victim's advocate, and they could explain it to you much better than I could. That's right, girl. It's true. Now, the defense has wrapped up its cross examination for the day. Maya will return to the stand Monday, and the jury is being ushered out of the courtroom. Now, this trial week ended with texts showing Maya's devastation when her employment with Sean Combs was coming to an end in December 2016. I'm going to kill myself. My life is over, wrote the witness. And if her job was such an inescapable hell, defense lawyer Brian Steele asked, why were you going to, God forbid, kill yourself when you were severed from the company? Why wasn't that a relief? Maya said that being in Combs' circles was all she had known, 24 hours a day for 8 years. In hindsight, fantastic, Maya said, but at the time, the worst thing ever. So that wraps up the third week of the Sean Diddy Combs trial, and that was a lot. That was a lot of heavy shit right there. That was a lot. And I think here at the end of this, it shows that cult-like mentality that some of the other witnesses have brought up. When you're so indoctrinated into a way of life, I mean, he very much is doing cult leader tactics that you see all of the time. It is no surprise to me that it was hard for people to get away. What would their lives be like? He had a lot of dirt on people, was trying to ruin their lives, allegedly blew up a car, unwraps Christmas gifts, has a hatred for turkey. I mean, this guy's insane. All right. You don't mess with a crazy person, especially one who has done things to you. I thought Cassie's testimony was very, very gut wrenching, and I think Maya's is as well. And I just give props to both of them being brave and going on there and dealing what you have to when you're a victim of that. And it's a really tough position for them to be in. So prayers are out to them and good thoughts. And hopefully Maya gets some rest this weekend and she will be off the stand Monday, hopefully. Well, couch potatoes, please leave some comments under this video letting me know what you think about all of this and this week in general. We will be releasing these every night that court is in session. So if you've enjoyed our coverage, please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when any of our shows go live. If you have social media, please share the link from our video. We love having new friends and new viewers and new couch potatoes to add to the family. You can also find all of our Diddy coverage in our USA versus Sean Diddy Combs playlist. Now, I will see you, all my little couch potatoes, bright and early Monday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern on Couch Court with Llama for more of the Karen Reid trial. And it is the defense's case in chief now, and it is going to be a spectacular week, I'm sure. Thank you all for being here with me. And until next time, go forth and be amazing.